The year is 2003. If you're a US or Japanese Digimon fan, you are fresh off the brand new season of the anime Digimon Frontier. If you're in the UK, you're just watching reruns of Tamers because we didn't get it until 2018. People keep asking me why I don't have a particular affiliation for Frontier, and that's why. But I digress. You're in love with the toy line. You're digging the heck out of the Detector card game when you hear whispers from a toy fair of a Bandai America exclusive Digivice. On today's video, I'm talking about the Digimon Force 3.
Hey, come on! Karn EX.
What's up everybody, and welcome to what I'm hoping is a new series on the channel covering beta, concept, and unreleased things from the history of Digimon, and I can think of no thing better to start with than the Digimon Force 3. Digimon Frontier was a reasonably successful season, both as a TV show and from a merch line perspective, and Bandai America wanted to cash in. So that's when they announced the first ever original American Digivice/VPET toy. Now obviously this wasn't the first Digivice to be made by Bandai America. Almost every Digivice from the TV show had a Bandai of America version. You'll notice that the D3 Digivice in Japan is not the same toy as you received in the US and in the UK, and the same goes for the D-Arc. But seemingly Bandai was feeling very big for their boots, and rather than just adapting Japanese toys, they thought it was time to make their own, which is when we got this abomination. As you can see, that is not just one Digivice, that is three, referred to individually as the Hyper Digivice, the Fusion Digivice, and the Armor Digivice, that, as you can see, would all be able to join together for multiplayer modes, as well as working in conjunction with the reasonably popular Detector card game. As the press image reads, the newest innovation of Digivices is now here, incorporating connectability, collectability, and hours of Digimon fun. Travel the digital world collecting new Digimons, plural of Digimon is Digimon. Fine, kind of your job to know this, but fine. Collecting new Digimons on your journey. Input digicodes from the new Digimon cards, allowing you to explore new lands and enhancing your digiplay. Connect to a friend's Digivice for head-to-head battling fun. Collect all three world's Digivices to control the digital world. Control the digital world sounds a bit Digimon Emperor, doesn't it? But yes, the core conceit was that each individual Digivice, the Hyper, Fusion, and Armor, each had their own world, and the key to saving / I guess controlling digital world was to eventually unite all three, aka three individual sales for Bandai of America. I see what you're doing. The press release also says, play alone or play with friends. Discover new features as you connect the three new Digivices and play the game. With this actually pretty cool art. Together, it's an absolute clusterfuck, but individually, I like all three of these Digivices. They're very simple and reminiscent of some of the earlier Digivices with some reasonable, modern, for the time, design choices. This one reminds me of, remember the Max Steel, like, Morpher thing? Enter secret codes from your collectible cards to meet new Digimon. See, they got Digimon right there, and you can see the Detector card battle game with Growlmon. But interestingly, more than just as a gameplay mechanic, Digimon Force 3 had an actual storyline. Over 100 years after Season 4, that's Frontier. That's right, this is supposed to be canon to Frontier. A small conflict occurred in the three areas of the digital world. Over time, the struggles grew and persisted until now. All that is left is chaos and disorder. There is a glimmer of hope. The leaders of the three areas have come from the real world, and they've been given all the powers of the Digivice to help them restore peace. They've been given the awesome responsibility of defeating the evil Hydemon before he completely destroys the digital world. Hydemon, you say? That's right, rather than in the typical VPET fashion where you either have purely raising mechanics, or if there's the Digivices that have battle mechanic, you would have lots of random enemies over time rather than one boss Digimon. This had a legitimate villain and a proposed storyline. Now most of this was probably just flavor text to hawk toys off the back of Frontier's storyline. But it's really interesting that not only does this toy line have unreleased Digivices, it has an unreleased Digimon. Unfortunately, we have no pictures of Hydemon or even an idea of what he would have been, what level he would have been, anything like that. Some people may be mistaken through Google Images and thinking this is something to do with Hydemon, but this is purely pulled from someone's role-playing account on a forum, and these designs are scrap characters from V-Tamer, which we might talk about another day. And that is essentially all we know about the Digimon Force 3. Three individual Digivices sold separately. Although it does say assortment of three, if you look at the very top left here, you can see that while the side of the box has all three, it seems that you only buy the Hyper Digivice individually, Fusion Digivice, and the Armor Digivice. Make that money, honey. But I'm almost disappointed we didn't get Force 3. As I've talked about in other videos, I'm a big fan of gimmick toy lines. I loved the barcode scanners toys, and this is almost reminding me of that. I didn't have many Digimon friends, but I feel like the ones that I did have, we probably would have gotten the Force 3 and probably would have loved the clunky, stupid design. While the reasons each is named differently isn't specified, I do wonder whether each had a different purpose or a different storyline. Perhaps the Hyper Digivice being the default Digivice with a more normal storyline, a more normal set of Digimon. Maybe the Fusion Digivice featured specifically Fusion Digivolution, maybe something like Wormmon, Vmon, and eventually you could get Paildramon. And maybe the Armor Digivice was similar, featuring Armor Digimon. Perhaps featuring the Armor Digivolutions, but also maybe they could kind of squeeze Armor to also mean the Spirit Digivolutions? Maybe I'm thinking too much into it, but I really wish we knew more about what the distinct differences between the three Force 3 Digivices were, and not just that they combined. It would have been really interesting to see what each of these worlds was, and maybe one day someone from Bandai of America will give us more insight, but until they do, this is all we've got. But let me know what you think. Do you like the Digimon Force 3? Again, looking at it now in 2020, it's not a great looking toy, especially when you combine all three, but I think at the time I would have bought it. Would you have? If so, if not, let me know down below. Like I say, the comments help immensely with the algorithm. Liking, subscribing, it all helps. You guys have been doing so amazing. Thank you so much for all the wonderful comments recently. It's been blowing me away how kind you all been. Again, I don't like to promo too much, but twitch.tv/Karn_EX. I stream a bunch of Digimon games, including Digimon Eirias, Digimon Rumble Chess, and I'm probably going to be getting into some Let's Plays of longer, full Digimon games, so do come hang out if you want to. But until next time, thank you all so much for watching. Take it easy.